Let's start our next chapter, chapter number 12, coordination and response. Learning objectives includes understand the human nervous system, explore neuron types in reflex actions, study eye structure as sense organ, learn about hormones, compare nervous and hormonal control, examine topic responses in plants, describe synaptic nerve impulse transmission, explain light focusing in the eye. So our first topic is eye structure and function. Anatomical components includes protective elements, which is bony skull socket, conjunctiva, protective membrane, eyelids, eyebrows, eyelashes, tear glands and lysosome enzyme. Retina and receptor cells. Receptor cell types include rods. Rods are sensitive to dim light, monochromatic vision, located peripherally on retina. Next is cones. It's a color vision, require bright light. 3 types, red, green and blue sensitive, concentrated in fovea. Third is iris functionality, pupil adjustment mechanism. Circular muscles constricts pupil. Radial muscles dilate pupil. Adapts to light intensity, prevents retinal damage. Next is blind spot, location where optic nerve exits retina, no receptor cell present, no visual information transmitted. Next is sensory processing. Visual information transmission includes light falls on retinal receptor cells, electrical impulses sent via optical nerve, brain reconstructs image from impulses. Next we have interesting observations, which include sensory detection. Multiple sense organs detect environmental changes. Different body parts sense various stimuli. Reaction times consideration, sound travel speed 330 meter per second, track lane with wide impacts, potential sound delay. Key terminology table. Now fovea, definition is densest receptor cell region and its location is central retina. Lysosome, antibacterial enzyme, its location is tear fluid. Conjunctiva, it's a protective eye membrane and its location is eye surface. Iris reflex, pupil size adjustments and its location is eye. Now let's talk about human sensory systems and hormones. Eye accommodation and lens focusing mechanism. Lens adaptation process. Accommodation, the eye's ability to change lens shape to focus on objects at different distances. It involves dynamic interaction between ciliary muscles, suspensory ligament, lens shape. Lens focusing mechanism, it includes distant object focusing. So in this case, ciliary muscles relax, suspensory ligaments pulled tight, lens becomes thin and flat, enables clear distance vision. Now in nearby object focusing, ciliary muscles here contracts, suspensory ligaments slacken, lens becomes thicker and more curved, enables clear close-up vision. Let's talk about key eye characteristics and functions. Cornea is light entry and initial refraction point. Iris controls light entering the eye. Lenses focuses light onto retina. Retina captures visual information. Optic nerve transmits visual signals to brain. Now let's talk about hormonal system overview. Hormone characteristics includes chemical messengers transmitted via blood streams, produced by endocrine glands, target specific organs, regulate body functions. Now major endocrine glands include adrenal glands. So it produces at adrenaline, trigger fight to flight response. prepare body for intense action. Next is pancreas. It produces insulin and glucagon. It regulates blood glucose level. Followed by reproductive glands. Testes produce testosterone. Ovaries produce estrogen. Now let's talk about nervous versus endocrine system. Characteristics, information transmission. Nervous system uses electrical impulses. Endocrine system uses chemical hormones. Speed, nervous system very fast and in endocrine system is relatively slow. Duration of effect, nervous system short term and endocrine system potentially long term. Now let's talk about adrenaline effects. Increase heart rates, boost oxygen supply, widens pupil, releases glucose, prepares body for emergency responses. Now let's talk about plant coordination and tropisms. Growth responses, tropisms. Plant growth movements in response to environmental stimuli can be positive towards the stimuli or negative away from the stimulus. Types of tropisms. Now, phototropism, it responds to light. Shoots grow towards light, maximize photosynthesis potential. Next is gravitotropism, responses to gravity. Roots typically grow downward, shoots typically grow upward. Next, we have stimulus response mechanism. Plant adjusts growth rate and direction here. Slower response compared to animal system, critical for survival and adaptations. Next we have plant tropism and auxin. Introduction to plant responses. Plant respond to environmental stimuli without complex sense organs or nervous system. Uses chemical communication system which is plant hormones to detect and respond to external conditions. Key responses include phototropism which is light and gravitopism which is gravity. Shoot responses to light and gravity. Alright, it includes phototropism, light responses. The key characteristics include shoot grows towards light. Positive phototropism enables optimal leaf positioning for photosynthesis, flower exposure for pollination, and maximizing light absorption. Now let's talk about gravitropism. Gravity responses. The key characteristics includes that it shoots grows away from gravity, ensures upward growth of plant structure. Alright, next we have experimental investigations of plant responses. It includes experimental setup for light response. Now, material needed for this experiment includes petri dishes, seeds, cotton wool, cardboard boxes, light sources. Experimental conditions like you have dish A, light from one side, dish B, rotating light exposure, and dish C, complete darkness. Then a experimental setup for gravity response. The materials that you will be needing includes potted plants, dark cupboard box, or a cardboard box. Experimental conditions, control plant will be in upright position. Experimental plant can be placed on sides. Now let's talk about auxin, the key plant hormone. Auxin characteristics includes produced continuously in shoot tips. It diffuses downward through plant tissues, controls cells elongation. Now auxin roles in tropism. Phototropism mechanism, gravitotropism mechanism. Auxin concentrates on lower side of horizontal shoot, causes faster cell elongation on lower side, results in upward banding of shoot. Let's talk about some key terminologies. Phototropism, plant response to light. Gravitropism, plant response to gravity. Auxin, plant hormone controlling growth and response. Positive tropism, growth towards stimuli. Negative tropism, growth away from stimulus. Adaptive significance includes roots grow downward to anchor plant, absorb water and minerals. Shoots grow upward to access sunlight, facilitate pollination, maximize photosynthetic potential. Some experimental skill summary: you should do careful observation when dealing with these plants experiments, controlled experimental design, understand the plant response mechanism, and you should interpret results for tropism experiments. Some questions that you must have the answer of includes: how do plants communicate without a nervous system? Why is oxygen crucial for plant survival? And then compare and contrast root and shoot tropism. These are already discussed above. Let's talk about nervous system and plant responses. Now here we have neurons, cellular structure and signal transmission. Basic cellular components includes core elements includes nucleus, cytoplasm, cell membrane, specialized adaptations designed for rapid electrical signal transmission. Next we have neuron structural features, which includes axon, longest cytoplasmic fiber, can extend over a meter, transmits electrical signals. Then dendrites, these are shorter fibers, receives electrical signals from nearby neurons. Next we have myelin sheath. Composition, it's composed of fat and protein layer. The function is insulates nerve fiber, accelerates impulse transmission. Speed comparison: myelinated fiber up to 100 meters per second, non-myelinated fiber about 5 meters per second. Now let's talk about nervous system organizations. So first is central nervous system CNS. Components include brain, spinal cord. Primary role includes coordinate electrical impulse transmission. Second, we have peripheral nervous system PNS composition, nerves spreading from CNS, sensory receptors. Signal transmission process: receptors detect stimulus, electrical impulse sent to brain, spinal cord. CNS processes and respond via appropriate nerve fiber. Next we have reflex arc mechanism, signal pathway. Trigger: sensory stimulus, example touching hot surface. Components include sensory receptors, sensory neurons, relay neuron, and motor neuron, and effector, which is muscle organ. Now we have hormonal control, adrenaline. Physiological effects: metabolic activation includes increases blood glucose concentration. It enhances oxygen and glucose supply to organs. Systematic changes includes increases heart rate, accelerates breathing rate. Let's talk about plant responses to stimuli. Here, tropical responses. It includes gravitropism, growth response to gravity, and phototropism, growth response to light. We have oxygen control growth. Production location is shoot tip cells. Mechanism is concentrates on shaded lower shoot side, causes differential cell elongation, enables directional plant growth. Now growth responses characteristics. Now it includes shoot behavior, positively phototropic and negatively is gravitropic. Root behavior, positively gravitopic, typically non-responsive to light. Next we have comparative nervous and hormonal control. Key differences includes nervous control, faster response, shorter duration. Hormonal control includes slower response, longer lasting effects. Now let's talk about sensory perception, eye mechanism, light reception. So receptor organ is retina, receptor cell are rods and cones. Adaptation example is nocturnal animals like tarsiers. Alright, let's talk about nervous system. Central nervous system CNS consists of brain and spinal cord, processes and integrates information from the body. Central command center for nervous system functions. We have peripheral nervous system, PNS also in nervous system. Its compositions includes nerves spreading out from the CNS, contains hundreds of neurons, includes sensory receptors in sense organs. Let's talk about nerve impulse transmission. So the process is receptor detect stimulus, then electrical impulses sent along neuron. Brain, spinal cord receives impulse and appropriate response sent to effector. Now let's talk about reflex arc mechanism. The components include sensory neuron, carries impulse from receptors, relay neuron transfers impulse between neurons, and then motor neuron transmits impulse to effectors. The characteristics includes automatic response, bypass conscious thoughts, extremely rapid transmission, protective mechanism. Example: hot plate reaction, stimulus hand touching hot plate, receptor pain receptor in finger, response immediate muscles contraction to withdraw hand. Now we have neuron types comparison. We have sensory neuron, the location is peripheral region, it carries impulses to CNS. Next we have relay neuron, it is in spinal cord, transfers between neuron. Then we have motor neuron, it connects to muscles, organs, transmit commands to effectors. Now let's talk about synapses. Definition is tiny gap between neurons. Transmission mechanism, electrical impulse arrives, neurotransmitter vesicles release chemicals, molecules diffuse across synaptic gap, bind to receptor proteins, trigger next electrical impulse. Key synapse features includes one-way transmission, chemical signal conversion, precise molecular interaction. Now let's talk about reflex action advantages. Pros: rapid response, automatic protection, minimal cognitive processing, integrated stimuli processing, multiple inputs combined quickly, coordinated survival mechanism. We have now neurotransmitter interaction, complementary shape principle. Neurotransmitter molecules match receptors, proteins shape, ensures precise chemical signaling. With this, we have finished this chapter. See you in our next chapter.